All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for stopping by, resting your feet for a few minutes, and checking out our little demo with the tools. I know near and dear to your heart, we're going over some leveling systems, some grout additive sealer, and just kind of show you a typical quick install and grouting. We're from BOE, Best of Everything. We're a tool supplier, tool, sponges, and sealer supplier out of Nevada. I've been in the industry. We've been around for about 20 years now. We're booth 3442. Please feel free to stop by. I just ask that if you hold your booze or keep them quiet so my boss doesn't hear what's going on over here. My name's Luke. As you can tell by the body mass difference, I'm the sales guy. This is Grant, who is our master installer out of California. And then we got Dane, who is our accounts receivable enforcer slash customer service slash Viking warlord. So we're just, glad you're here, and I'll let Grant take over.
Hi everybody, I'm Grant. I'm a professional installer. This is my job, this is what I do. So I'm here to demonstrate some of the BOE tools, some unique things that you may not be aware of or that we can just learn more about. All right, so we're going to do one of the leveling systems here. Okay, we get our thin set spread out. Back butter the tile, of course. And we'll go ahead and set that down. Next, we're going to put the clips in, or the bases, as we call them. Put in our next tiles. Okay.
Just for reference, Grant's using what the TCNA, NCA now recommend, the irregular or equivalent to notch trowels, as opposed to the half-inch, quarter, or U-notch. We actually will have a training on that 410 later today, if you're interested to see that as well.
So we put our clips in there. These are going to go underneath the tile. We have these washers also. They're especially meant for sensitive material so that we don't do any damage, scratches to the surface while we're installing the caps. So those go on. We have these little twist caps. They twist on real easy. Just get them started like that. There we go. I like these. These are my favorite. I like the twist style. It's just really easy using your fingers now at this lower base section. You get a lot of leverage, but you can also tell right when you got it about right, with the right amount of tension. So I'm going to tighten those up. And that's going to pull those tile edges even with each other so we don't end up with any lippers. Okay, so that's the first system. We also have the wedge system. Just seems like people either like the wedges or the twist caps, so we have both.
Our spin system is called the Level Best, and the wedge system we call the Lippage Eliminator 2. So kind of like Coke or Pepsi, some people prefer the spin, some people prefer the wedge system.
Okay. So we'll put our tile down. These bases are a little bit different, meant to accept the wedges. I think one of the benefits of the wedges is that the wedges are multi-purpose. So if you buy them for this, you can also just use them in certain applications while setting tile. Okay. All right, do that. put that one there. Again, we have washers. These are a little bit of a different shape for the wedge. There's no damage done to the material, especially if you're working with a sensitive stone. One thing about our wedges is the back is just a nice open flat area. If you've ever done this all day long, if there's any sharp edges or a flat, less of a curve, it gets uncomfortable, your thumb starts to hurt. So these are very nice to work with all day. These just ratchet in there really easily. If you prefer, we have a gun that goes with it. We can ratchet those down with a little bit of mechanical advantage. Okay, there we go. Over here I have some that we did the other day. These have dried. So the next day, when it's time to take the caps off, these just break off. You can break them like that. We're also going to want to use the caps again, so just separate that, throw away the stem, keep the cap. Another way to break these is just simply with your foot. So they break out really easily when they're supposed to. Okay, next I'm going to demonstrate the grout floats that we have. These are made out of a really unique material. It flexes over the different textures and things on tile and still gives a really nice squeegee, so that after we do that, we're not going to have a ton of grout sitting on the tile that's just going to take extra work to wash off later. All right, now I have some grout that's pre-mixed. And we use the Omni grout additive. So instead of having to come back to the job 2 days later and do a topical grout, instead of water, we use this. And now the grout sealer is within the entire body of the grout. Saves another step. Anyways, cleans up really good with this float. Hardly leaves any material on the tile itself. All right. We also have this little margin trowel with the same material. It's great for soak niches, difficult to reach areas. I love this. Seems like everybody loves it. I have to always hide it in my toolbox because it goes missing quite often. So there we go. Now, why don't you tell them about the calculator?
Yes, so here we've got a QR code to our website, and this will actually take you to a leveling systems calculator. What that does is you put in the dimensions of your tile, the length and width, and the square footage of your job, and it will calculate how many units you actually need. So it'll tell you how many bases and how many clips that you will need for your job. It's great if you're a contractor and you need an estimate of just how much you might actually need to buy before going to your job site. So that's great, and it's also got diagrams depending on the dimensions you put in that'll show you where the clips are actually supposed to go on the tile. So it's real easy to use, takes you to a website. We've got this QR code on all of our packaging for the leveling systems as well. So definitely check that out. And as Luke mentioned, we're at booth number 3442. So if you want to come by, get your hands on these floats, really see the products up close, we'd love to have you stop by. And we do have another demo at 4. going deep into those trowels, those irregular style notch trowels. With all that said, do we have any questions?
I wanted to show one more thing. The last step is always cleanup. Yeah. Yes. Good point. I understand what you mean. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Let the NTCA know that.
Yes. Last of all, cleanup is always a pain. We mix the thin set in the BOE bucket liner. So this is like a soft rubbery material. So if I walk away from this the next day, it's going to be hard as a rock in there. But I'm just going to be able to lift it out and basically knock it around, and everything just drops out. So, and then put it back in there, use it again. Another method for cleaning the buckets, we have this bucket brush here. Simply take your mixing paddle off, attach the brush, and then you only need about 3 inches of water. That's going to spin around in here. I'm able to scrub the sides of the brush. This is when, you know, the bucket is kind of tough. The thin set's been sitting there for a few hours. The brush is going to fill up with water on the inside and actually spray as we lift it up the sides of the bucket. So that's how we come up and clean the top parts of the bucket. So there you go. Yeah.
No, Grant's being very humble. He is actually the inventor of this product. He's invented a couple of our products, him being out in the field and having these ideas and bringing them to us.
Cleaned a lot of buckets. Sorry? With this? Well, I've used it with natural stone quite a bit. I think that most natural stone, the undulation of the surface isn't so extreme that the system doesn't work. I think it just takes up a footprint of 3/4 of an inch on both sides of the tile, so there isn't usually that much variation in the tile. I always prefer this one, personally. It's just a small footprint. I think it's about 1.5 inches. Really easy to twist and break off. Also, the other benefit of this, you can use it with one hand, where with the wedges, usually takes two, one to kind of hold the tab in place. So this goes on very easily. It's hardly any effort. Just give it a twist and then tighten it up. What's that? Oh yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Okay, thank you everybody. Really appreciate it.